Hey, so I am working with some people informally, just through email, referred by a colleague of mine. And the question they had was the worker parent is receiving, say, $3,000 of workers' comp every month. And if he files for SSD, what will he be able to get given the 80% rule that applies with workers' comp when you're getting other public benefits, including Social Security disability. So we did a little bit of the math and kind of guesstimated on that little ballpark. And it would seem that between the two of them, he can't go over, say, 3,200. So if he's getting 3,000 from workers' comp, he can only get 200 or so of his SSD. And his SSD is 2,000. So 1,800 is going to be offset. So that can be kind of upsetting, right? So then the question became, what about with the children's benefits that he could get? And the fact is the 80% applies totally. So that 3,200, which is 80% of his average current earnings as determined by the SSA. And I've explained in other places that that's generally the monthly average income one earned the 3 years before they stopped working. There's a couple alternative calculations, and I think they give you the highest one that might be available. And maybe I'll do a separate video on those, the different ones. But anyway, so yeah, so if he was making 4,000 a month ACE average current earnings, 3,200 would be his 80%. So between workers' comp and SSD in any particular month, he cannot be collecting more than 3,200 and the rest would be offset. Because if you think about it, if he was making, what did I say? 3,000 workers' comp, 2,000 SSD, that's 5,000. And he's only allowed to have 3,200, 80% of his ACE of 4,000. So when they asked about the children's, I think that the children's benefits wouldn't be come into play on this. That is unfortunately not true. The offset applies to the entire receipts of the family. And I will direct you to, it's a publication. I will link it below. It is called How Workers' Compensation and Other Disability Payments May Affect Your Benefits. It's put out by the SSA. And if I go down to the page, the exact quote that I'm referring to is, quote, your monthly SSDI benefits, including benefits payable to your family members. So that's where they nailed the whole kit and caboodle. So if he would have gotten another 1,000 for family members, his SSD instead of being 2,000 would be family-wise 3,000. It's all going away almost, except for that extra 200 he can get on top of the workers' comp because of the workers' comp. Because again, it's so to continue reading, your monthly SSDI benefits, including benefits payable to your family members, are added together with your workers' compensation or other public disability benefit. If the total amount of these benefits exceeds 80% of your average current earnings, that's the ACE I was talking about, the excess amount is deducted from your Social Security benefit. So unfortunately, and they give you an example, but I'm not going to go into it. It does apply to your family dependent benefits do not escape that limitation, unfortunately. Yeah, so that is unfortunate. And then, for some people, it's going to be a decision. Well, should I apply? Well, I look at it as, well, it's $300 a month. This is an older individual. So not applying probably will not decimate his retirement because that's probably largely carved in stone at this point, having put in so many years. This is a person over 60. But, is it 300 a month worth it or not worth it? I'd probably file if it was me, notwithstanding. Plus, if that workers' comp stops, you could presumably pop that amount back up. But if you never filed for it, you can never do that. And if the workers' comp stops, you got nothing, right? So there is that. Whether or not they want to use an attorney, and if an attorney will do it, is another story, because the attorney's going to get 25% of back benefits. Now, most attorneys probably aren't going to take it if the monthly amount total is 300, because the attorney's fee is going to come after the workers' comp offset. So most attorneys aren't going to be willing to work for that, because they're basically working for negative, right? Almost entirely free. And it would just be, they'd go bankrupt if they did it too much. Because this came from a very close colleague of mine who I really appreciate, referrals and all that. I probably will if they need me to. And it just, I write it off as a pro bono, and, you just do the right thing by, people who, do right by you. So there is that, but there's not going to be a lot of benefit, certainly not to me. But that's fine. And then, but again, the plaintiff, the claimant, the would-be claimant has to determine if they want to go through the effort. Again, $300 a month, I kind of think it's worth it. That's like $3,600 a year, right? And if it could be a few years, why not? It just means, sitting down, filling out some data sheets and all that. We do all the rest of the work. We just need to get the information from you. But we'll see what happens. But I just wanted to let you know, if that is something that is pressing on you about the offset, it does, it does not excuse from its wrath the dependent benefits going to children, caretaker parents, anybody else, I guess, who's a dependent. It seems, I wonder if it affects ex-spouses. It didn't exclude them in what I was reading, but I can't say for sure that it doesn't. Okay. Anyway, just a little share. I'm actually speaking to you from Niles, Ohio, where I'm working today, but interesting town. I like it. And I just came from an excellent luncheon diner called Top Notch. And I'm not sure the town. I don't think that's Niles. It may be closer to Cortland. Not sure. The towns are kind of close together, or maybe they're not. I'm not sure. I'm kind of lost. I used my GPS. Anyway, excellent. I had a Reuben. It was excellent. And the French fries are excellent. And now I have them in my fridge here in the room. And I will be heating them up later granted, it's in the microwave, but better than nothing. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye.